All right, so today I wanted to make a video talking about why people are continuing to strap a GoPro to the FPV drone. I know I produce a mount and others produce mounts that allow you to mount any GoPro or any action camera to the FPV drone. One of the most common questions I get is, why would you do that? That's stupid. It has a camera on there. And the idea about this video was to talk about the inefficiencies of the DJI camera that's on the FPV drone. Some of the weaknesses and some of the things that DJI has not even addressed yet, which I'm really shocked that they haven't fixed. But while I was filming that video, this happened. No, I broke an arm. Fuck. I have never broken an arm before. Fuck. That was shit. No. Oh, no. Ah. I got greedy. This ain't gonna get fixed before next week. Son of a bitch. Fuck. And it sort of threw a wrench in my entire plan to make that video. So today I want to talk about why, if you are considering purchasing the FPV drone, why I think you should just skip care refresh. Let's get started. What's good, everybody? Ken here. You're watching OriginaldoBo. And today's video, we're talking about why you should skip DJI Care Refresh in regards to the FPV drone. Now, falling out of a tree about 3 stories high won't cause all of this damage. Actually, when I saw the arm, I thought, like anybody, I can fix it. However, fixing things on this thing isn't like my FPV drones. It's not like anything I've ever seen before. There are a lot of screws. There's so many shapes and sizes of screws. I have a baggie of all of them, and I would be hard pressed if I could tell you where any of them go. Now, this is my 3rd FPV drone that I destroyed. I've sent 2 of them prior into DJI for repair, and that's what sort of prompted me to talk about this today. So DJI Care Refresh, if you want to add it to your FPV drone, is $199 just to get the party started. After that, per instance, it's $259 for the first instance where you have an issue, and then for the second time, it's $279. So straight out of the gate, you're gonna pay about $450 if you have to replace this or you want to use your Care Refresh.
Hey, Ben, we're the world champion.
Now, I've had a couple of times where I've repaired this, where I've had what I thought was catastrophic failures, and it ended up costing me under $200 to repair. The first time I sent this in, it flipped over backwards and landed in water, and after it landed in water, I started getting ESC errors. We sent it in for repair, and they gave us a parts list breakdown, and it cost about $135, and it was shipped back to me, and it was fixed, good to go. The second time, I broke some of these feet, and I cracked an arm. The arm didn't come straight off, but I just cracked an arm, and that was $145 for that repair. So right there, I'm about $280, $275 round trip for 2 incidents. Now this time, I'm gonna send this to DJI with the bag of parts and disassembled just like this, because I'm curious, like one would believe that this is sort of catastrophic because the airframe is actually also damaged as well. When I looked at the arm, I thought to myself, no problem, I'll buy an arm, I'll fix it, no big deal. But upon further inspection, where the arm actually sits inside of the airframe is actually cracked. There's just like a little crack. I mean, it's not a huge crack. Would it play a massive issue with this drone? Probably not, but I didn't want to risk it. So I'm gonna send it into him and see what this costs. My suspicion, it's gonna be about $350. So that's 3 incidents, 2 of them which were under the $400 limit. And then of course this one, which will probably put me about the $500-600 mark in total in repairs, which got me thinking, is it worth Care Refresh at this point when most of your instances that you're going to have are going to be pretty minor actually with this drone? And the answer is no. Care Refresh is an absolute ripoff with this particular quad. And I don't care what anybody says, because it is. It's $200 and $300 almost, $250 we'll call it, to replace it the second time. So just right out of the gate, you're gonna be out $450 your first time for an issue. Now there are some benefits to Care Refresh, such as expedited shipping times and expedited repairs and discounts on repairs, but I don't know if that necessarily equates to that first time fee of $199. I think there's better ways to ensure something like this. And this is one of the problems that I see with Care Refresh just in general. I think DJI knew what they were doing when it came down to this. They made it to where it was just borderline user repairable. This quad is not really easily user repairable, if you ask me. Just taking the front arm off, I also had to take this side piece off, which exposes the rear arm. I also noticed that the antenna for the rear was also damaged as well, whether that be from impact or me taking it apart. And right out of the gate, it's gonna have to go back. I did desolder the motor from the ESC, so I'm sure that's gonna be a red flag. I don't know if they're gonna fix it because I started touching it. There are tamper-proof screws all over the place on this quad, which makes me believe that DJI doesn't necessarily want us even touching it or fixing it, which is sort of sad. All right, that's enough of that. I'm gonna send it in and people can be like, oh, you idiot, just build your own quads. I've got a wall full of quads built. The reason why I like flying this thing is because I can stick a GoPro on there. I can send it at a long range distance and know that worst case, I have some phenomenal fail safes in place to where it's gonna come back to me. That's the reason why I continue to fly this and continue to use this, because unlike my standard FPV drones, this has way more range and clarity that to me I find really useful. And then in combination of putting one of my helmets on top of that, I'm able to send this at a hell of a distance and know that it's gonna make it back. I was getting great footage before I crashed out of the FPV drone, and it wasn't that it didn't have enough power to pull out of it. I just misjudged how close that second tree was. But the helmet did break on the front. I think this took the massive portion of the fall. I think, you know, if I had the arm braces, maybe I wouldn't have broke these arms. Somebody asked me the other day, do you think the arm braces are worth it? And I think if you're flying like I was, maybe they are, because if I had something bracing that front arm, I don't think it would have had enough of flex to break completely off. I think it would have mitigated some of the damage. But that's just a thought. I can't play what ifs. Unfortunately, it's already happened for the third time. So we'll send it in, see how much this costs. Then I'll be sure to update in the description down below to show you exactly, you know, what this cost me to repair, so you know what you're facing should you break it. But I do want to go ahead and show you some comparisons between a GoPro on top of the FPV drone and the DJI FPV camera since the latest update to show you that there hasn't been any improvements. I did stabilize this footage with Real Steady. I did film both of these in their flat profiles to really show you how great the GoPro footage is. And believe it or not, the GoPro footage was filmed at 2.7K 60 frames per second, while this was filmed at 4K 60, and I think it's amazing. So there you go. Anyways, if you are interested in mounting a GoPro for these types of solutions, I do have these. I have created version 2 of the helmets, which is right now one of the only mounts for the FPV drone that works incredibly well and almost reliably with Real Steady without any of the micro vibrations, provided you're not using a Hero 7. All right, that's gonna do it for this video. Wish I had a better video for you. Really sort of pissed, but what are you gonna do? Shit happens. I'll see you in the next video. Stay original. Hey, remember how I told you that I wasn't gonna break this one? I broke it again. You think we have any more on the shelf that I could possibly maybe just borrow? I'm not gonna break it again.